Assalamualaikum. My name is Rajnu Said, and these are my group members. You guys can introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Ziad Haruki.
My name is Tengku Ikmal Akil.
My name is Shahmi Bama Iqbal.
Thank you. So today we're gonna be doing for our assignment 1 for information security compliance, which is exploring and applying vulnerability tools. So for our target, we chose a cloud-hosted e-commerce platform, which we use OS Shop. Okay, introduction. This slide details a security audit of a cloud-hosted e-commerce environment using the OWASP Juice Shop as a target. As a deliberately insecure application, Juice Shop replicates a modern technology stack, making it an ideal platform for simulating real-world penetration testing and identifying critical vulnerabilities. Acting as an internal audit team, we utilize a multi-layered approach to assess business impacts and develop remediation strategies using 3 primary tools. The first one, we use OSAP. It's used for automated web application vulnerability scanning. The second one, we use Wireshark, employed for deep network traffic analysis. The third one is Nmap, utilized for comprehensive network and host vulnerability scanning. So for our audit scenario and environment, the audit targeted a live OS Shop instance on Heroku and a local Docker deployment on Kali Linux for deep packet inspection. The environment simulates a full e-commerce experience featuring user accounts, product catalogs, and administrative interfaces. To evaluate this platform, the team focused on several critical security needs. First one is vulnerability scanning, comprehensive web and network layer testing, traffic inspection, which is verifying encryption compliance for data in transit, compliance and logging, reviewing HTTP headers, CORS policies, and server logs for leakage. For the last one is access review, assessing the security of privileged administrative accounts. For our proposed security audit tools, first one, we use OSAP. So it's called OSAP. It's by Checkmarks and it's open source. Its purpose is to an integrated penetration testing tool for finding vulnerabilities in web application. It provides both automated scanning and manual testing capabilities. How it assists in auditing, it automatically crawls the target web application and actively tests for OS top 10 vulnerabilities, including XSS, which is cross-site, SQL injection, and misconfigured security headers. The benefits is it's free and open source, supports both passive and active scanning, GUI and CLI modes available, includes an Ajax spider for modern JavaScript-heavy applications, generates the detailed alert reports categorized by risk level. Its limitations are active scanning can be intrusive and may disrupt production system, may produce false positives that require manual verification, requires proper scope configuration to avoid scanning unintended targets. Its deployment is on desktop. It's available on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. It's already pre-installed on Kali Linux, but only on newer versions. And proxy configured on localhost is 8080. Example use case, running an automated scan against HTTP localhost 3000, which is the Jushop IP, to identify missing content security policy headers, CORS misconfigurations, and information disclosure vulnerabilities. For the next one, I'm going to pass to Shami.
For the second tool, which is Wireshark, Wireshark is it's open source community for the purpose, which is a graphical network protocol analyzer that captures and interacts real-time data packets traversing network interface. The way it exists is by provides deep packet inspection to verify security controls like encryption. Also, it's allow editor to see what attackers see on the networks. For the benefits is that it support hundreds of protocol, which is filtering search. After that, they assemble fragment TCP stream into readable payloads. For the cons, it cannot decrypt properly secure traffic without private keys. It also requires protocol knowledge to interpret raw data effectively. For the deployment, it has, which is a desktop, open source, as well as on Kali Linux, which is other workstation. For the use case, it helped capturing login attempt on JuShop to prove that credential, which is admin JuShop.op, as well as their password, sent in plain text over HTTP on port 3000. I will pass to the Zia.
Okay, thank you, Shahmi. So my tool name is Nmap, which is short for Network Mapper, created by Gordon Leon and open source community. So its purpose is a network scanning utility, which is used to discover hosts and open ports, running services, software system, and OS. And how it sees auditing is that it maps the attack surface of a target by identifying all exposed surfaces. The command SV and SV can be used to detect vulnerability. Also, by adding VULN scripts, reveal the applicable CVEs. Benefits is that it is free and open source, highly scriptable via the Nmap scripting engine, and supports a wide range of scan types. Limitation is that scans can be detected and blocked by firewalls or IDS and IPS. Aggressive scans can be disruptive to live production environments. Deployment, it can be used in desktop, open source, or CLI. Example use case is running nmap -sv script run against jusop.heroquad.com to confirm CVE 2011-3192 and identify open ports and service versions. Thank you, that's all.
Okay, so for tool comparison, there is for parts such as criteria, OWASP, Wireshark, and Nmap. So basically, the primary function between these three is for OWASP is web app vulnerability scanning, and for Wireshark is packet capture and analysis, and Nmap is port service discovery. So moving on to focus layer. So OWASP is in lower layer 7, which is the application layer. And then the Wireshark is on network transport and application layer. And then Nmap is network and transport layer. And for the scan type, OWASP is a hybrid, which is active and passive. Wireshark is passive only, and Nmap is only active. So OWASP is best for OWASP top 10 for the checking of the headers. And then Wireshark is best for detecting clear text data in transit. And Nmap is best for mapping exposed services and CVEs. So the output of OWASP is basically alert reports by the level of its risk. Wireshark is raw packet captures, which is in a PCAP file. And then Nmap is on port service version reports. So moving on to the next slide.
So for this one, for the first one, we use a tool, OSAP for deployment. The prerequisites to ensure a successful deployment of the auditing tool, the following environment requirements must be met. So the operating system must be on Linux, Windows or Mac OS, sorry. And Java runtime, ZAP is a Java-based application and requires OpenJDK 11 or higher installed on the host system. The installation steps are the following steps outline the installation of the standalone version of OS on a Linux environment. First to download, we obtain the latest stable Linux 64-bit package from the official OSLab GitHub repository or website. So we need to extract it. to uncompress the downloaded archive into your desired application directory using the terminal. So it's much easier to just extract it from GitHub rather than from the official website. So that's why I use. You unzip. So when you get the file, you unzip or extract the downloaded archive by using this line, which is tar-svf zap, and yeah, that one. And for the permissions, navigate to the newly extracted folder and ensure the main execution script has the necessary permissions to run. So we do the following line of code. This one is into the terminal. Okay, for the next one is Wireshark.
The first step for deployment of Wireshark, first we go to the Wireshark official portal, and after that we select the Windows 64 installer. For the second part, after the installation and download process begin, after it finish, we can see the first thing is license agreement. Okay, next part.
Sorry.
After that, it prompt to the components part. We can configure the Wireshark 4.6.5 version to set the new setup address. After that, we choose the utilities that important for the installation, like Wireshark, T-Shark, and external captures like ETW dump. And for the fourth step, we choose the installation location. We can choose our local drive. For this test, we go to the C, and after that, we complete the installation. And this is how the main dashboard is supposed to be like. Okay, I think that's all.
Next is the two deployment procedures for Nmap. So first we navigate to the download portal in Nmap official page, which is nmap.org. And then under that, we download Nmap and choose our operating system. Next is we download the installer. Preferably we select Nmap 7.99 setup.exe. Next is license agreement. And we click agree on that. Next. Fourth step is we choose components, check the features of Nmap we want to install, and then lastly we choose the install location. Okay, next. After that we verify and launch. Once the installation is complete, we can launch the application. The completed deployment is verified by opening the ZenMap graphical user interface, which displays the main dashboard.
This one is our assessment process and walkthrough. So for the first one, which is always ZAP, for step one is its launch on Kali Linux, which I use for this one. The welcome screen provides options for automated scan, manual explore, and learn more. Step 2, the automated scan option was selected. The target URL, which is the JuShop URL, is entered with the traditional spider and Ajax spider using Firefox enabled to ensure full application crawling coverage. Step 3, upon completion of the scan, ZAP reported 5 alert categories. The first critical finding was content security policy, which is CSP for short, header not set. Classified as medium risk with high confidence, which is CWEID is 693. This means the application does not instruct browsers how to handle resource loading, leaving it vulnerable to XSS and data injection attacks. Step 4, the second finding was cross-domain misconfiguration. Classified as medium risk, Evidence showed that the access control allow origin header was set to the start, meaning any external domain can make cross-origin requests to the application. Its sub CWE ID is 264. A timestamp disclosure, Unix vulnerability was flagged as low risk. The server response headers expose a Unix timestamp, evidence 165048547, revealing information about the server's internal clock and potentially its uptime. Its CWE ID is 200. Information disclosure, suspicious comments was flagged as informational risk. Zap detected developer comments within the application's JavaScript chunk files that could assist an attacker in understanding the application's internal logic. For the last one, the final information finding was modern web application detection. Zap identified JavaScript-based cookie consent scripts and tracked the application's framework fingerprint, which can assist attackers in targeting known framework vulnerabilities. For the next one, Waisha.
Now I'll be continue about the network traffic analysis with Wireshark. The first step is by installing a G-Sharp Docker within the Ubuntu in virtual box and launch it over the exposing web interface on port 3000 over HTTP. For the second step, launch the Wireshark and start capturing the ETH0 interface. After that, open the browser on local host machine and go to the G-Sharp login portal and create a new account as admin. For this example, with the admin alias G-Sharp.op as well as simple password like password 123. For the step 3, we begin the capturing in Wireshark by using the filtering has been explained before, which is HTTP post request. By filtering this traffic, we can see the client, which is IP 10.218.233.199 to server, which is 10.218.233.168, our encrypted HTTP. For the fourth step, we right click that post packet, and after that we go to the follow and hover over there and choose the TCP stream. Okay, for the next part, for the last step, which is we can open the TCP stream and we filter out the password and credential. You can see the encrypted, which is the password clearly visible in JSON payload. This is confirming the critical plaintext credential transmission vulnerabilities.
Okay, so next is the assessment process and walkthrough for network scanning with Nmap. So step 1, a ping check was performed against juiceshop.herokuapp.com to confirm the host was reachable and to resolve its IP address, which is 554.73.53.135. Second step is a service version and vulnerability script scan was executed using nmap-sv-script vol. This identified port 80 TCP running, a Heroku router, and confirmed CVE 2011-3192, a patch by byte range filter DOS as vulnerable. Step 3, a service version scan. MSV was run to enumerate all open ports and running service. Results showed port 80 HTTP and port 443 as HTTPS, both served by the Heroku router. Next. Step 4, an OS detection scan and map-o was performed. The results were inconclusive due to cloud net infrastructure but identified the host as likely running a virtualized Linux environment via AWS EC2. Step 5, an aggressive scan and map-a combined version detection, OS detection, NAC scripts, and traceroute. This revealed the HTTP server headers, the robots.txt, course configuration, and confirmed the SSL certificate details for .herokuapp.com, which is valid until 2027.
So this is gonna be our vulnerability findings. So
Okay.
sorry, Ikmal.
Right. So first off, the finding is from OWASP. So firstly is the vulnerability of CSP header not set, CWE693. The risk is medium, and it's basically the application does not set a content security policy header, leaving it open to XSS or cross-script surfacing and data injection. So the impact is browser have no policy to restrict malicious resource loading. So the e-commerce risk is attackers can inject malicious script to steal customer payment data or session tokens. So the next vulnerability is cross-domain misconfiguration, which is CWE264. The risk is also medium, and it has access control allow origin set to ***, allowing any external domain to make cross-origin requests. This highly impacted sensitive API endpoint accessible for arbitrary origins. The e-commerce risk is that attackers can craft malicious pages that silently make authenticated requests on behalf of logged-in customers. The next vulnerability is timestamp disclosure Unix, CWE200. The risk is low. So it basically server response headers expose a Unix timestamp revealing server clock information. The impact is that reveals server uptime and internal timing, aiding targeted attacks. And then the risk is that assists attackers in timing-based attacks and narrowing down server version fingerprinting. So the next last vulnerability is info disclosure, which is suspicious comments, CWE200. The risk is quite low as well inside of info. So developer comments found inside JavaScript file may reveal internal logic. This basically exposes application internals and debugging artifacts to any of the users. And it can reduces effort required for attackers to identify exploitable application logic. So next, we have Wireshark. So the first vulnerability that we find is unencrypted HTTP transmission in port 3000. So platform communicates over port 3000 using HTTP, lacking TLS and SSL encryption. So obviously it's impacted is authentication payloads transmitted in clear text interceptable via packet sniffing. The risk of it is very critical because there has admin credential, which is the admin username captured in plain text. Full storefront compromise is possible. So next vulnerability is information leakage via HTTP headers. So it's basically response headers expose the backend stack, which is X powered by Express. So this provides precise detail about server-side environment and software versions. The e-commerce risk is high as attackers can research known CVEs for the specific Express Node JavaScript version. The last vulnerability is insecure WebSocket communication or socket.io. This is basically application uses encrypted WebSocket, which is socket.io, calling for real-time updates. This causes real-time session data exposed to any party monitoring network traffic. The risk is high, which is potential session hijacking. Attackers can monitor live transaction updates. So next, of Nmap, the first vulnerability we have is Apache byte range DOS, which is CVE 2011-3192. So it's basically web server vulnerable to DOS when numerous overlapping byte ranges are requested. This causes an exhaustion of server resources leading to service unavailability. The risk is critical as websites shut down during peak hours, significant loss of sales and trust. Next vulnerability is PHP MyAdmin LFI, CVE 2005-3299. So this is a PHP file inclusion vulnerability, allows attackers to read local files via the $_ redirect parameter. So this can allow attackers read sensitive system file as, for example, a password file from the server. The risk is high, which is total system compromise, server configs, admin credential, and customer data exposed. The next vulnerability is unencrypted HTTP in port 80. So it's basically communication over port 80 is not encrypted by default. So it has a potential for data interception and session hijacking. The risk is high as exposure or customers logging, credential, and browsing data might get exposed. So last is FTP directory exposed in /FTP in robots.txt. So it basically an nmap can reveal a robot.txt, disallowing /FTP, indicating an accessible FTP directory. So this can potentially expose a lot of sensitive files stored in the FTP directory. And the risk is medium, because attackers can directly access and download sensitive documents or backup. So moving on to impact analysis. So the audit revealed a severe security posture highlighted by the critical transmission of admin credential in plain text over HTTP. This vulnerability allows attackers to steal passwords through passive network sniffing with zero user interactions. These risks are compounded by missing CSP headers and wildcard course policies, which leave customers vulnerable to cross-site scripting and unauthorized API requests. Furthermore, the platform is susceptible to being knocked offline via an Apache DOS vulnerability identified during the Nmap scan. Next is the recommendation. So the primary recommendation is to enforce exclusive HTTPS across all ports to secure credential and WebSocket connections. Additionally, the teams suggest the following high-impact security improvements. So first is hardening headers to implement CSP restrict cores to trusted domains to prevent session theft. And then the next is patching, which to patch and update Apache and PHP my admins to versions unaffected by known CVEs. Next is access controls. So it's better to secure or remove the public-facing FTP directory discovered via Nmap. The next is code cleanup, to which we strip developer comments and debugging info from production JavaScript. And last but not least is automation. So we can integrate automated ZAP scanning into the CI/CD pipeline to prevent future regressions. So the conclusion is that this assignment demonstrated the practical application and efficiency of using OWASP ZAP, Wireshark, and Nmap as complementary open source security audit tools. By leveraging these tools together, the assessments uncovered a severe compounded risk where the combination of missing HTTPS enforcement, absent security headers, and unpatched CVEs could realistically lead to a full data breach of customer records and complete administrative compromise. Ultimately, the identified remediations, specifically HTTPS enforcement and header hardening, represent low-cost, high-impact security controls that should be treated as baseline requirement for any production of e-commerce platform. So thank you. That's all from